Here is a RadioShack branded 900 MHz cordless telephone. This is the RadioShack number 43-3511 in translucent teal or Totally Cool Teal. We've been working with a bunch of crummy telephones over the last couple of days, so this will be a nice change in pace because this is a very good quality telephone. These were made by Uniden, which in my opinion made the best cordless phones that consistently last the longest, are the most reliable, and generally seem to perform very well. Unlike that creepy Emerson box from earlier in the week, this box actually makes sense. It's got a nice aesthetic design. It's got multiple photographs featuring people using the telephone and inherently enjoying the telephone. We've got a picture of an old computer in the background there. This is a late 90s product, but these are very good telephones, and unlike the 46 to 49 megahertz phones that really didn't work that good, these stayed around for some time into the 2000s, partly because there just really wasn't a reason to replace them. The telephones are still fairly expensive, and these units worked a lot better than most of the 2.4 gigahertz models out there, and even some of the 5.8 gigahertz models, simply because these did not have the interference with the Wi-Fi, because that was a big thing in the 2000s, because the 2.4 gigahertz phones did not work well in environments with Wi-Fi. And then when the 5.8 gigahertz phones come out, a lot of the 5.8 gigahertz telephones were 5.8 over 2.4 dual band, and so of course you had the same problems. So people held on to these because they didn't interfere with Wi-Fi. Now we have a diagram on the back here that talks about the range, this being a basic analog model. It says digital or analog is the red ring. And actually I feel like that's a pretty reasonable representation of the coverage. It is true that the 900 megahertz spread spectrum ones were way better in terms of range and clarity. 900 megahertz spread spectrum, in my opinion, is by far the best frequency for cordless phones and best technology. The 900 megahertz DSS blows this DEC 6 stuff out of the water in terms of range. It's an extremely powerful and very effective technology. Translucent teal. This phone is so cool. It's just fun to look at. You can see through the teal and examine the circuitry and components inside. I always like these old boxes with these old, the old technology and stuff in the background. I remember when that type of a computer was standard. This is a very simple model. It's all got pretty basic, features. 7-number speed dial memory. I don't know if that means 7 entries or only 7 digits per entry. I would have expected 10 entries. I believe that there was also a green one like this, and I also believe that there is a Uniden branded equivalent of this. It's more or less the same thing internally, but I think some of the buttons have a slightly different shape or something like that. Not a big difference, but there is a slight difference. Oh, this is not the telephone that's in the box. And it's stuck in the box. What is the problem here? Make sure we don't damage anything here as we remove this from the box, but it's maybe the adapter has to come out first. I'm not sure that this is put in the box correctly. There's the adapter. Well, that's ironic. That's the green one. Okay, that's the Totally Cool Green. Wonder what the story behind that is. This came from the letter H. I'm going to have to ask him. He might have told me and I just don't remember. But these are both extremely rare models. So the fact that we have the box for one color and the actual phone of the other color is really quite odd to me. So it takes the RadioShack AC adapter, model AD-327, outputs 9 volts at 180 milliamps. Very standard size plug. The phone itself has a battery inside, but it was disconnected, so it didn't ruin anything. It's a Florian battery. I like this brand. I've had very good results with it over the years. Unfortunately, I don't think so that these are made anymore. Or I believe that this brand turned into IMAH. Let's see if this has a charge. This battery does not have a charge, so I'll set this aside and we'll just plug in a different battery for now. Okay. So just like the box said, you can in fact see through the green and examine the circuitry, which is pretty cool. Examine the circuitry. There's some wear on the buttons, but nothing crazy. It's overall in pretty good condition. We can also examine the circuitry in the base. Alright, I'm going to get the testing apparatus set up here. Plug this in. And we get a line cord. Okay, we got power. That's moving around in there because it's the wrong size battery. Okay, we have why is the charge indicator not illuminating? It's definitely working. Just have dirty contacts? That light came on. We must have dirty contacts here. Don't look that dirty. Yeah, they're just dirty. Alright. There we go. Alright, so now it's working properly. Let's see if we can adjust this camera a little bit to get a better angle here. I used to have a little, like, folded piece of cardboard that I would prop these up on. I gotta find that cardboard. Alright, so let's see. These RadioShack versions, when you'd pick it up from the cradle, ringing or not, it would always turn on. Which is kind of dumb. I don't know why it was like that. I don't think there's any way to turn that off either. I don't know what the 7 memories is then. It's taking plenty of digits. Huh, that's ironic. The speaker is spoiling, which is one of the only things that I find goes bad on these Unidens. The speakers sometimes get really quiet, and that's the case with this one. Well, geez. I guess this is just not a good week for good functioning telephones. Well, that's fine. This at least is an easy fix. Well, I guess we'll try to call the Farmer Jones cold line and see if we can hear anything. Might not be able to hear much. I can kind of hear it in my ear, but I'm not sure I'm able to hear it on the camera at all. Alright, so we're going to have to replace the receiver cap, but the circuitry is working, it's getting audio, it just needs a new speaker. And the buttons could use a clean out too, they're a little bit sticky. The channels are working. Oh, so these are just like what used to be called rocket dials for the 1, 2, and 3. Maybe that's where the 7 memories is coming from. These 7 down here are the memories, and these are speed dials, I guess is what it's saying. can go in the charger either way. Okay, now I want to record some testing messages and check the range. I guess I will just check the range through the testing messages because there's no point in filming walking around with it because the audio is so weak and I don't think that you're really going to be able to hear it anyways. List 2. The boy was there when the sun rose. A rod is used to catch pink salmon. The source of the huge river is the clear spring. Kick the ball straight and follow through. Help the woman get back to her feet. A pot of tea helps to pass the evening. Smoky fires lack flame and heat. The soft cushion broke the man's fall. The salt breeze came across from the sea. The girl at the booth sold 50 bonds.
Old messages. Message 1.
List 2. The boy was there when the sun rose. A rod is used to catch pink salmon. The source of the huge river is the clear spring. Kick the ball straight and follow through. Help the woman get back to her feet. A pot of tea helps to pass the evening. Smoky fires lack flame and heat. The soft cushion broke the man's fall. The salt breeze came across from the sea. The girl at the booth sold 50 bonds.
Message 2.
It didn't hang up, did it? We'll try again.
Message 3.
This is going to need some repair.
Message 4.
Okay, we're going to check the range now. And I think that we're going to find that the battery is a problem. So I'm just going to take the battery out and hold it like this so that it's not rattling all through the testing message. And I can't really hear the static on the telephone because the audio is so weak. So I guess I won't really know how good the range was until we go back and listen to the message. I just walked upstairs now. I'm walking down the hallway. Now I am into the kitchen. I'm passing through the kitchen. And now I am into the living room. I'm going to turn on the street lights. Okay, the street lights are warming up. I can hear a little bit of static here and there, but nothing crazy. The advantage of an analog phone is that if there's a little bit of static in the background, you can generally still carry out the conversation. Whereas with digital, if it's clipping out and you're just full on missing parts of the conversation because the signal's not there, it's not super usable. So I'm in the living room now. This is as far as I can go inside the house. And it's generally pretty clear. So I would say this gets a good reception all the way across the house. So now I'm going to call back and I'm going to go outside and we'll check the range outside.
Message 5.
I'm outside now.
I'm right in the backyard by the door. Now I'm going to start walking away from the house towards the water. There might be some background noise. It sounds like somebody's using some type of saw, electric saw, across the way. Alright, I'm back by the water now, and I can hear the static a little more than I thought I was going to be able to. I don't hear any static right now. I think it's still pretty clear. So now I'm going to start moving around to the side yard. Just pass back the fence into the yard, and I'm going to walk around to the side yard here. And I'm about where the deck is now. I don't hear any static yet. Right now the handset does not have my head in the way. When I come back, I will hold it the other direction. So now I'm by the garage. The whole house is in between the handset and the base. And I hear little blips of static, but nothing major. A lot of phones will not cover this far, higher frequency digital phones. So the fact that this is working here really speaks to its superiority. Now I'm walking up the driveway. It still sounds pretty clear to me. I'm getting toward...
Message 6.
Well, this is take 2. My stinking test message got cut off because the message recorder filled up. So I just canceled out the messages, and now we're trying again. Cut off right when I was getting towards the end of the driveway, so I'm going to get back over there, around in the corner on the side of the house now. And I'm just past the fence. Now I'm into the driveway, and I'm walking down the driveway now. A lot of acorns starting to appear this year. Last year there was a ton of acorns, and I think we're going to have the same thing this year. Alright, so I'm down at the street now, and I hear little bits of static here and there, but nothing major, just past the mailbox, going past down the road here, and it still sounds pretty clear. At the corner of the property, this is about as far as I can take it without going down the street. Actually, still sounds really clear to me. And I've got the handset with my head in between the handset and the base. So this is the worst possible case scenario. I'm in the side yard now again, and it still sounds very clear. Yeah, these were good phones. These really had an impressive range. And nothing like a 900 megahertz if you need good range. And of course, once we get this the speaker replaced, this telephone should work good as new. I don't know why these speakers seem to go bad in these. That's really the only thing I ever come across that's wrong with Uniden phones. Fortunately, that's a pretty easy part to replace. And we have to keep in mind, too, that these phones are getting to be 30 years old, some a little bit more than that, so they've had a good long run with reliable operation. Alright, I'm back inside now, back by the studio. Go ahead and hang this thing up. First I'm going to change the channel a couple times just so we can hear what that sounds like.
End of messages.
I think it cut off changing the channel because it took some time to actually get a new channel. It's like 3 or 5 seconds per scan. So what I'll do is I'll just call it and change it live. Alright, that's a wrap for this one. I'm charging up this battery now that it came to me with, and it's working. I was just using that battery when we were changing the channels. So this just needs a new speaker that's an easy repair, and this will be ready for service.